Silent thinning starts before most people notice it. A few extra strands on the pillow, more hair in the shower drain, a wider part in the mirror. Most people are told this is genetics, bad luck, age, hormones. But there is another cause that almost no one talks about. A quiet cause, a nutritional cause, a protein problem. Hair is not just beauty. Hair is biology. Hair is structure. Hair is built from protein. Every strand on your head is made from keratin, and keratin is pure protein. When the body lacks protein, it does not protect hair. It protects the heart, the brain, the organs. Hair becomes the last priority. That is when shedding begins. Roots weaken. Growth slows. Thickness disappears. And here is the shocking truth. Many people eat every day but still do not get enough usable protein for hair growth. Even people who eat eggs, even people who eat meat, even people who think they eat healthy. Because the body also needs amino acids, minerals, and absorption support. Without these, protein cannot rebuild follicles. That is where one powerful vegetable changes everything. A vegetable most people walk past. A vegetable that looks simple. A vegetable that quietly contains more protein than eggs by weight. A vegetable that carries complete amino acids. A vegetable that supports blood flow to the scalp. A vegetable that feeds follicles from the inside. A vegetable that helps repair weak roots instead of only masking hair loss. This is not a supplement, not a pill, not a powder, not a drug, not a chemical treatment. It is real food, real nutrition, real biology, and it works with the body instead of against it. In this video you will learn the hidden connection between protein and hair loss, why weak protein intake silently damages follicles, how this single vegetable supports keratin production, how it feeds the scalp at a cellular level, why it helps slow shedding, and how it can support thicker, stronger regrowth over time. You will also learn why most hair products fail, why shampoos cannot fix internal deficiencies, and why food always comes before treatments. The truth is simple. Hair loss does not start on the scalp. It starts inside the body, in the blood, in the cells, in the nutrients, in the building blocks. And when those building blocks are missing, no oil, no serum, no lotion can fix the problem. This video will show the science logic behind hair structure, the nutrient pathways that feed follicles, and the real reason why protein quality matters more than protein quantity. You will also learn how one natural food source delivers protein, and growth support together in one system, instead of separate supplements. Most people chase quick fixes. This video shows real fixes. Most people fight symptoms. This video explains causes. Most people treat hair loss from the outside. This video explains how to treat it from the inside. And the best part is this: the solution is affordable, accessible, natural, simple. No complicated routines, no extreme diets, no dangerous methods, just smart nutrition that works with human biology. If hair thinning, shedding, weak strands, slow growth, or scalp weakness are problems you care about, this video matters for you. If you want stronger roots, thicker strands, better growth cycles, and long-term hair health, this video is for you. Stay until the end because you will understand not just what this vegetable is, but why it works, how to use it, and how to build a simple daily system that supports hair growth naturally over time. Welcome to our channel, where we turn real science into simple health solutions, where nutrition becomes knowledge, and knowledge becomes power. Subscribe now and become part of a community that grows stronger, healthier, and smarter with every single video. Hair growth is not a cosmetic process. It is a biological process. And biology always follows structure and nutrition. Every strand that grows on the scalp is built from keratin. And keratin is not a vitamin, not a mineral, not a hormone, not water, and not oil. Keratin is protein, pure structure protein. That means hair is literally constructed from protein at the cellular level. When the body does not get enough usable protein, the body does not stop breathing, the heart does not stop beating, and the brain does not shut down. The body protects survival first. Hair becomes a low-priority system. Blood nutrients get redirected. Amino acids get reserved for organs. Energy goes to vital systems. Hair roots receive less support. Follicles weaken. Growth cycles slow down. Shedding increases. Strands become thinner. Breakage becomes more common. Volume disappears slowly, not suddenly. That is why hair loss often feels silent at first. A few extra hairs on the pillow, a little more hair in the shower, slight thinning at the crown, a weaker hairline. These are not random signs. They are biological signals. They show that the body no longer has enough building material to maintain strong keratin production. Low protein does not just reduce growth speed, it changes hair structure. The follicle becomes weaker, the shaft becomes thinner, the root anchoring becomes unstable, the growth phase becomes shorter, the shedding phase becomes longer. This is why low-protein diets often lead to more hair fall, slower regrowth, and fragile strands. Hair is not a decoration. Hair is tissue, living tissue, and tissue needs raw material. That raw material is protein. Without it, no product can rebuild structure. No oil can fix follicle weakness. No shampoo can repair internal deficiency. Nutrition is the foundation. Yet most people misunderstand protein completely. They think protein only comes from meat, from eggs, from chicken, from fish, from dairy. They believe hair growth depends only on animal foods. That belief creates a dangerous blind spot because it ignores one powerful truth. Protein is not defined by its source. Protein is defined by its amino acid structure. If a food provides the right amino acids, the body can use it to build tissue. That includes hair tissue. This is where plant protein becomes invisible to most people. They see vegetables as fiber, as water, as vitamins, as light foods, not as builders, not as structure foods, not as growth foods. This belief is wrong. Some vegetables contain high-quality protein. Some plants contain complete amino acid profiles. Some plant foods provide protein plus minerals, vitamins, and growth-supporting compounds together in one natural system. This is why ignoring plant protein is a big mistake for hair health. Animal protein alone does not guarantee follicle strength. Absorption matters. Mineral balance matters. Blood flow matters. Hormone stability matters. Cellular repair matters. Scalp circulation matters. All of these systems work together. Protein builds the structure, but minerals transport nutrients. Vitamins activate enzymes, and circulation feeds follicles. Some vegetables support all of these systems at once. That is why they are powerful for hair growth. And one vegetable stands above most others for this purpose: edamame. Young soybeans, soft green, simple looking, often treated as a side snack, often ignored as a serious nutrition source. But biologically, edamame is not simple food. It is dense nutrition. It is concentrated structure support. It contains more protein per gram than eggs. Not just more protein, but usable protein, complete protein. That means it contains all essential amino acids the human body cannot produce on its own. These amino acids are the raw building blocks for keratin. Without them, the body cannot build strong hair fibers. Edamame provides these amino acids directly. It feeds the follicle building process. It supports keratin production. It strengthens the structure of new hair as it forms inside the scalp. But protein is only one part of its power. Edamame also contains iron, which improves oxygen delivery to follicles. More oxygen means better follicle energy production. Better energy means stronger growth signals. It contains zinc, which supports tissue repair and follicle regeneration. It contains biotin, which supports hair strength and elasticity. It contains isoflavones, which support hormone balance that protects follicles from hormone-related thinning. It contains fiber, which improves nutrient absorption. It contains magnesium, which supports circulation. It contains antioxidants, which protect follicles from oxidative stress damage. This combination creates a biological environment where hair can grow instead of struggle, where follicles can repair instead of weaken, where roots can anchor instead of shed, where growth cycles can stabilize instead of shorten. This is not surface-level nutrition. This is cellular-level support. Edamame does not work like a cosmetic fix. It works like a biological builder. It supplies the structure material. It supports transport systems. It improves blood delivery. It strengthens follicle repair. It feeds growth pathways. And because it is real food, the body recognizes it, absorbs it, uses it efficiently, integrates it into tissue production. This is why the idea that only meat and eggs build hair is incomplete. It ignores amino acid science. It ignores absorption science. It ignores micronutrient synergy. It ignores plant biochemistry. Hair growth does not depend on one nutrient. It depends on systems working together. Protein builds, iron transports, zinc repairs, biotin strengthens, circulation feeds, hormone balance protects. Idame supports all of these systems at once. That is why it matters. That is why it is powerful. That is why it is different. That is why it supports hair at the root instead of just the surface. That is why it feeds follicles instead of coating strands. That is why it helps slow shedding instead of hiding thinning. That is why it supports stronger regrowth instead of temporary shine. Hair loss does not come from one cause, but protein deficiency is one of the most silent and damaging ones. And the solution is not always more animal protein. The solution is better protein quality, better amino acid intake, better nutrient synergy, better cellular support. Idame fits that biology perfectly. It works as structure food, growth food, repair food, and support food at the same time. It does not overload the body. It nourishes it. It does not stimulate artificial growth. It supports natural growth cycles. It does not force follicles. It feeds them. It does not shock the system. It stabilizes it. That is why this vegetable is not just food. It is building material. It is biological support. It is follicle nutrition. It is structural fuel. It is internal hair care. Hair loss slows down when the body stops attacking the follicle environment and starts repairing it, and repair always begins with structure. Protein is not just fuel, it is tissue material. It is the raw substance used to rebuild cells, strengthen roots, and restore weak follicles. When protein enters the system, it does not go to the hair first, it goes to survival systems. But when intake becomes consistent and balanced, the body begins allocating resources to repair systems, and hair follicles are part of that repair network. Amino acids are the real workers here. They are the building units of protein. Every strand of keratin is formed from chains of amino acids linked together inside the follicle. Without these amino acids, the body cannot create strong keratin fibers. The follicle may still produce hair, but the structure becomes thin, weak, fragile, and unstable. That leads to breakage, shedding, and slow growth. When amino acids become available in proper balance, keratin formation becomes stronger, thicker, and more stable. Hair shafts become denser, roots anchor deeper, growth cycles last longer, shedding slows naturally, but structure alone is not enough. Hair follicles also depend on blood flow. Blood is the delivery system. It carries oxygen, nutrients, minerals, and building material to the scalp. Iron plays a central role in this process. Iron supports oxygen transport in the blood. More oxygen means more cellular energy inside the follicle. More energy means better growth signals, stronger cell division, and healthier follicle activity. When iron levels are low, follicles become underfed, growth slows, shedding increases, regeneration weakens. Zinc works as a repair mineral. It supports tissue healing. It helps regenerate damaged follicles. It strengthens immune balance around the scalp. It helps regulate oil production. It stabilizes follicle structure. Without zinc, follicles remain weak even if protein is present. Biotin supports the strength of the hair shaft itself. It improves elasticity. It reduces brittleness. It supports keratin bonding. That means hair becomes less likely to snap, break, or split. Isoflavones support hormonal balance, which is critical for hair health. Hormonal imbalance can shrink follicles, shorten growth cycles, and accelerate thinning. Balanced hormones protect follicles and stabilize growth phases. All these systems work together. Protein builds the structure. Amino acids create keratin. Iron feeds the follicle with oxygen. Zinc repairs tissue. Biotin strengthens fibers. Isoflavones protect hormonal balance. This is not one nutrient working alone. It is a biological system. Hair follicles are living structures. They depend on blood flow, nutrient delivery, cellular energy, structural material, and hormonal stability. When one system fails, hair suffers. When multiple systems fail, hair loss accelerates. That is why single nutrient fixes fail. That is why surface treatments fail. That is why external products cannot rebuild internal biology. Hair loss is not a surface problem. It is a cellular problem. Follicles need amino acids to build. Blood delivers nutrients to roots. Protein acts as the building blocks. Minerals act as the transport system. Vitamins act as the activators. Adame provides all of this in one natural food source. It supplies complete amino acids for keratin construction. It provides iron for oxygen delivery. It provides zinc for tissue repair. It provides biotin for hair strength. It provides isoflavones for hormonal stability. It provides fiber for better absorption. It provides magnesium for circulation. It provides antioxidants for follicle protection. This creates an internal environment where follicles are fed instead of starved, supported instead of stressed, repaired instead of damaged. Growth becomes more stable. Shedding becomes less aggressive. Hair cycles become more balanced. Roots become stronger. Strands become thicker. Growth becomes more consistent. This is not stimulation. It is restoration. It is not forcing follicles to grow. It is giving them what they need to grow. Biology always responds to supply. When the right materials are present, systems rebuild. When they are missing, systems break down. Hair follows the same rule. The follicle does not choose to weaken. It weakens because it lacks support. It does not choose to shed. It sheds because it cannot sustain growth. Nutrition determines that outcome. This is why using Adame is simple but powerful. It fits into daily life without complexity. It does not require extreme diets. It does not require supplements. It does not require chemicals. It can be added to meals naturally. It can be added to salads to increase protein intake without heaviness. It can be blended into smoothies to create a protein-rich drink that supports follicles from the inside. It can be eaten as a snack to replace empty calories with building nutrition. It can be added to rice meals to create a balanced protein and mineral combination. It can be used daily without stress. Consistency is what matters. The body does not rebuild tissue in one day. It rebuilds over time. Daily supply creates long-term repair. Daily nutrition builds long-term strength. Hair growth follows cycles. Follicles go through growth phases, rest phases, and shedding phases. Nutrition influences these cycles. When the body receives steady building material, growth phases extend, shedding phases shorten, and regeneration improves. Hair becomes more resilient. Growth becomes more stable. Loss becomes slower. Strength becomes visible. This is not a cosmetic effect. It is a biological effect. It happens inside the follicle, inside the blood, inside the cells, inside the tissue, inside the growth cycle. Adame works because it fits human biology. It does not override systems. It supports them. It does not force results. It creates conditions for results. It does not attack hair loss. It removes the causes that create it. It supports the follicle environment instead of fighting the symptoms. It rebuilds structure instead of masking weakness. It strengthens the root instead of coating the strand. It feeds the system instead of stressing it. Hair health is not about products. It is about processes. Blood flow, nutrient delivery, amino acid supply, cellular energy, tissue repair, hormone balance, structural support. When these processes work, hair grows. When they fail, hair falls. ADMA supports all of them together in one simple food source. That is why it matters. That is why it works. That is why it fits into daily life easily. That is why it supports long-term hair health instead of temporary cosmetic results. Results in the body never appear all at once because biology works in stages, not in moments, and hair follows a natural cycle that cannot be rushed. In the first phase, the body starts repairing internal balance before visible change appears. During the first 2 weeks, the most common change is not new growth but reduced shedding. Less hair in the shower, less hair on the pillow, less hair in the brush. This happens because follicles begin to stabilize. Roots become stronger. The growth phase starts to rebalance. The body stops pulling resources away from hair follicles and starts feeding them again. Blood flow improves. Nutrient delivery becomes more efficient. The scalp environment becomes calmer. The follicles are no longer in stress mode. By weeks 3 to 4, structure changes begin to show. Strands feel stronger. Hair feels thicker when touched. Breakage reduces. Fragility decreases. Hair becomes less dry. Elasticity improves. This is when keratin production becomes more stable because amino acids are now available consistently. The hair shaft forms stronger bonds. The structure becomes more dense. The roots hold better. Growth becomes more stable. By weeks 6 to 8, visible thickness starts to appear. Hair volume improves. The scalp looks fuller. Thin areas appear less flat. Hair density becomes more noticeable. Growth speed feels more consistent. This is when the growth cycle begins to normalize. The growth phase extends. The shedding phase shortens. The resting phase becomes more balanced. Over the long term, the biggest change is not just thickness but cycle quality. Hair starts growing in healthier patterns. Regrowth becomes more reliable. Loss becomes slower. Density becomes more stable. Hair becomes more resilient to stress. Hair becomes more resistant to damage. The scalp becomes healthier. The follicles become stronger. This is how real hair repair works. Not fast shock results. Not instant changes. Not overnight transformation. But steady biological improvement through consistent support. Hair responds to daily input. Daily protein intake feeds structure. Daily iron-rich foods support blood oxygen delivery. Daily omega-3 fats reduce inflammation and improve scalp circulation. Daily hydration improves nutrient transport and cell function. Daily scalp circulation improves blood flow to follicles. These systems work together. Protein builds. Iron transports. Omega-3 protects. Water carries. Circulation feeds. When these are present daily, hair biology changes naturally. This is not a single food solution. It is a system. ADMA supports the protein side. Iron-rich foods support oxygen delivery. Omega-3 fats support follicle protection. Hydration supports nutrient transport. Scalp circulation supports delivery. Together they create a growth environment, a repair environment, a stability environment, a regeneration environment. Hair does not grow because of one nutrient. It grows because of balance. Balance in blood flow, balance in hormones, balance in nutrition, balance in cellular energy, balance in growth signals. When the body is balanced, hair follows. But this is not magic. It is not instant. It is not a trick. It is biology. Cells need time to repair. Tissue needs time to rebuild. Follicles need time to strengthen. Growth cycles need time to reset. Nutrition takes time to absorb. Systems take time to stabilize. Hair cycles take weeks, not days. Growth happens slowly, quietly, consistently. That is how real change happens. That is how repair happens. Not through pressure, not through force, not through chemicals, not through extremes, but through steady support. Consistency matters more than intensity. Daily habits matter more than short bursts. Long-term nutrition matters more than quick fixes. Hair health is not built in a day. It is built in patterns, in routines, in daily choices, in steady intake, in simple systems. When the body receives what it needs every day, it responds. When follicles are fed consistently, they stabilize. When roots are supported daily, they strengthen. When blood flow improves regularly, growth improves naturally. When hormones stabilize, follicles are protected. When inflammation reduces, the scalp environment heals. This is how loss slows. This is how growth improves. This is how thickness returns. This is how density builds. This is how cycles reset. Not through pressure, not through panic, not through extreme actions, but through simple, steady biological support that works with the body instead of fighting it. Real change starts with real knowledge, and real growth starts with real action. Stronger hair does not come from fear, pressure, or panic. It comes from understanding your body and feeding it what it truly needs. Now, the question is simple. Are you ready to support your hair from the inside instead of chasing surface fixes? Are you ready to give your follicles real nutrition instead of empty promises? If this video helped you see hair loss in a new way, show your support by liking this video so more people can learn the truth too. Share it with someone who is struggling with thinning, shedding, or slow growth. Drop a comment and tell us what changes you are starting today. And if you want more science-based, simple, natural health solutions that actually work, subscribe to the channel and become part of a community that grows stronger with every video. The next video will reveal another hidden root cause of hair thinning that most people never talk about, and a simple natural solution that can change everything for your scalp and your growth cycle. You don't want to miss it.